So yesterday I posted a video called Poppy Exploit is Still Happening, where I talked about a game-breaking exploit where Poppy is able to queue from Fountain and hit everything on the map. I also posted this on the r/League of Legends and r/Summer School subreddits. My r/League of Legends post got removed after a few hours, however, because apparently I was clearly showing how to reproduce the exploit, and they removed my post. In my opinion, it was removed wrongfully, but I can't really do anything about it. I messaged the moderators, and they just simply said that I was clearly showing how to reproduce the exploit. I myself don't even know how to reproduce the exploit, so I don't know how they would think I would teach other people to do it, but what are you gonna do? The post on r/Summoner School, however, did fairly well, and it's currently on the front page of the subreddit. I'm glad that this issue is getting some sort of exposure in the League community. This sort of exposure is how we bring issues into light in front of Riot so they can start working on the game-breaking exploits. But today, something interesting happened. I was contacted by an exploiter that was involved with the players in my previous video. They provided me sufficient private verification information in order to prove that they were indeed legitimate and truly involved with exploiting. I won't be posting that information here in order to protect their privacy. They stated that if I wanted to ask any questions about the exploit and the process behind it, they would try to answer them as best as possible. So I decided to take that opportunity and interviewed the exploiter in order to find out more information about this game-breaking exploit and how scripters operate behind the scenes. But honestly, where should I begin? I honestly don't know. I talked for hours with the exploiters, asking them numerous questions and receiving some disturbing information and some irrefutable proof of their legitimacy. I even requested the exploiter to recreate the global Poppy Q exploit within Practice Tool, which he did for me. Here's the footage for that. So, I guess the best way to start off here is, why do they do this? Why do they seemingly just randomly exploit to ruin people's games? Well, the exploiter, let's just call him Bob for now, stated that the reason that these exploiters are abusing this bug right now is essentially for business. Bob stated that they and many other scripters/exploiters typically work as account boosters in order to sell accounts to the highest bidder. Currently, they're abusing this global Poppy Q exploit in order to just expedite that process. According to Bob, the group of exploiters and scripters consists of many high elo players, including some challenger players from NA and other regions. These high elo players have a business of boosting accounts to master tier and above, and sometimes even challenger, and then they sell the accounts for an enormous amount of profit. People are willing to pay big money in order to have a high elo account, which I definitely believe. However, whenever these sorts of exploits are discovered, for example in this case the global Poppy Q exploit, they abuse it for as long as possible as they can in order to expedite that boosting process. Bob stated that typically it takes 50 plus games to get an account to Diamond and above. In that time, the boosters may lose around 1 to 5 games. If played without the usage of exploits, then game lengths will typically last up to 30 minutes. However, if they do use exploits to expedite the process, these game lengths are cut down to nearly 5 to 8 minutes. And that's a fact. The game that I was in with the exploiter was only around 8 minutes long. The enemies aren't even able to remake the game due to a loophole in the remake system. In order to remake a game, the vote becomes available by 3 minutes into the game. If a player's flagged as inactive or disconnected for at least 90 seconds. However, if a first blood occurs against the enemy team before the 3-minute mark, then the team isn't allowed to call for a remake vote. Because of this rule around remakes, the enemy team is never able to call for a remake. If you take a look at my video from yesterday, the exploiter got a kill 1 minute and 40 seconds into the game. That's far earlier than the 3-minute mark required to remake a game. According to Bob, these exploiters and scripters have a close network of other scripters and exploiters, including different programmers, script developers, and even discords that discuss newly developed exploits. When one exploit is found, it's relayed to everyone else within that network, so that everyone is able to then again abuse the bug to fast track that boosting process. So essentially, these exploiters run a business selling boosted League of Legends accounts and utilize these game-breaking exploits to fast track that process when possible. Also, an interesting thing that Bob told me about this was that the account getting boosted by the exploiter usually never gets banned. The scripting exploiter account may get banned, but the duo account that is getting boosted and eventually will be sold will never get banned. Bob stated that there are many precautionary measures that these boosters took in order to remain undetected throughout the boosting process. Apparently they even have some sort of method to hide their boosted accounts from being found on websites such as op.gg. That's why some accounts don't get noticed or reported that easily, because people aren't able to look them up and find their highly suspicious match history. Also, because these boosted accounts climb throughout the ranks so fast, and the duo account that is using the exploits typically get banned within a few games, that boosters need new accounts that can duo with the boosted account's new higher rank. In order to supply this need for new accounts, these boosters utilize password cracking softwares and account checkers in order to hack accounts that they can then use to exploit to boost their other accounts. This confirms other reports that I read and received about players losing their accounts overnight and waking up to a banned account for exploiting. According to Bob, Riot support if contacted will almost always unban the account for the original account holder. Riot support can usually determine if there was indeed a hacking of the account due to the IP differences during the different logins of the account. And sadly, according to Bob, this sort of exploiting has been happening for years. Apparently, they've been exploiting bugs and glitches since the Blade of the Ruined King exploit back in Season 4 in 2014. They've been doing this for 6 whole years. Of course, there isn't always an exploit to abuse, but they do frequently pop up, and when they do, the boosters get on it as soon as possible. They sometimes abuse it for weeks before the exploit even comes under the public eye. And according to Bob, inside sources state that there's a 50-50 chance that the current exploits will be even fixed in the patch that is supposed to go live either tonight or tomorrow, which is patch 10.13. But the sad part is, though, that apparently even if Riot does manage to fix the current exploits in the next patch, it's predicted that a second wave of new exploits will be created from the fix that occurs. Bob stated that unless Riot has something really big planned for this next patch, these exploits will continue to happen. Even in this current exploit alone, there are apparently 75 different exploitable locations on the Rift, with over 25 champions that can recreate it. And then, at this point in time, I started to think to myself, I was like, why is this person telling me this? Isn't this like their business? Wouldn't exposing the exploit lead to a fix? And if the fix occurs, then they can't make as much money boosting accounts. Well, when I asked Bob this, he simply stated that they only had 1 to 2 days left on a scripting software subscription and didn't care if they were banned from using the software any longer. Also, Bob admitted that while it was nice to exploit this bug and get boosted accounts ranked up faster, it was getting a bit tiring to constantly exploit the bug, and Bob was frankly tired of playing Poppy. Even if these exploits do eventually get taken down, Bob stated that manual account boosting will always be an option. Remember that these exploiting teams include many high elo players that definitely have the skill to boost accounts themselves to a high rank. Then I asked Bob, how can Riot fix an exploit like the recent global Kane W exploit, yet people can still recreate exploits like it? And I was told that, yeah, these exploits were indeed patched, but only for humans. In order to recreate these exploits, you need to be in a perfect and exact position, down to the very pixel. There's no way a human themselves can recreate this. However, with the usage of scripts, it's definitely possible. Normal people just aren't able to recreate the exploit without specific scripting softwares. The recent surge of exploit abusers occurred because of a public scripting platform called Zenbot. Zenbot provided scripts that enabled players to recreate this exploit for absolutely free. However, Zenbot, which was the biggest public scripting platform at the time, was discontinued. That is why the recently global Kane W exploit went from over 1,000 people abusing it to like less than 10. Also, side note for a fun fact, according to Bob, Riot never even fully patched the global Kane W exploit. Apparently Riot forgot to patch the red form Kane, so if the exploiter simply plays the game normally and achieves the red form, then they can still do the exploit. Come on now, Riot. However, according to Bob and some insider information, there is still hope that these exploits will be exterminated once and for all. According to Bob, there's a rumor going around from an inside source that Riot Pac-Man, a writer on the anti-cheat development team, is working with the Riot development team in order to fix this exploit and any others like it. People like Riot Pac-Man and Philip Koskinas, aka Mirage, are infamous to the exploiting community. Bob said they're like the Grim Reapers of exploiters, who are known to have created exploit fixes and anti-cheat pipelines in order to catch exploiters and scripters. Riot Pac-Man and Mirage have even apparently joined scripting discords to talk to scripters and let them know they're going to get banned before it even happens. Yeah, they're the real deal. However, according to Bob, even Riot Pac-Man has stated that there's a possibility that this exploit won't even be fixed by the patch tomorrow. Bob went on to say that even the exploiters themselves are surprised that the issue hasn't been fixed yet. Bob said that Riot Pac-Man said the following: "It most likely won't be fixed by tomorrow. They need to redo the whole Rift. And there are 72 spots to recreate this bug, so they might even take out Flash." So, the reason that Riot may need to disable the summoner spell Flash is because it is necessary in order to recreate the exploit. This was the case previously with Hex Flash, which Riot did actually disable for a small amount of time while they worked on a fix. However, clearly exploiters found a workaround and are still able to recreate the bug without Hexflash. So, I guess for now the League community's hope lies in the hands of Riot Pac-Man, Mirage, and the anti-cheat/developing teams for Riot Games. Hopefully they will be able to find a fix for this exploit in the near future, as well as find a way to stop these bugs from resurfacing in the future. Now, that's everything that I was told about exploiting. But there's more. As I mentioned several times in this video, in order to recreate these exploits, you need to utilize a script. A script is basically a software that is programmed to take control over your in-game champion during certain times in order to perform a certain way. In the exploit's case, scripts were used to find the exploitable location with pixel point accuracy. However, according to Bob in our interview, scripts are being used for so much more. In League of Legends, as many of you watching may already know, scripts are utilized to land skill shots and dodge skill shots when possible. A player using scripts will almost never get hit by skill shots and will almost never miss skill shots due to the scripting software controlling their champion. Many of the boosters that are abusing these exploits also typically use scripts to boost accounts when exploits are not available. This makes it much easier for the boosters to win games and in turn makes it faster to boost and sell accounts. And here's where it got pretty interesting. According to Bob, there are many high elo NA players involved with scripters and exploiters, getting free wins on Smurfs and alt accounts from the exploiters. I was told that even a streamer with 1,000 plus average viewers duos with scripters off stream to get boosted. However, the name of the streamer was left unknown to me. What's even more disturbing is that Bob stated that it's extremely common in NA for win trading to occur. In Bob's exact words, he said, like, we do it all the time. Oh, you need a win for a boost? I got you. Bob said that there have been some attempts by streamers to expose the system, but those involved usually just huddle up and protect each other. The interview ended with me receiving an unlisted YouTube video that showed a scripter/exploiter utilizing scripts in a League of Legends game. Here's that video. According to the exploiters, this is one of the platforms that has a hand in causing all of these exploit discoveries and scripts. As you can see, this Ezreal is using some sort of scripting software. He's able to dodge all the skill shots and also hit all of his skill shots. As you can see, the title of the video says, First Day with Zenbot, which leads me to assume that this software program is called Zenbot. Bob stated that by exposing this video, there's possibility that it could help Riot with some sort of fix or at least help ban those using that specific software. Now, I know this is a long video, but I felt as if I really couldn't shorten it because there's just so much information to be leaked and publicized. I'm hoping that by creating this detailed video and giving Riot this information and leaking these scripting/exploiting videos, that it will be able to help Riot find a suitable fix for the current exploits and scripts. Even better, hopefully Riot can soon develop a way in which prevents even the possibility of future exploits and scripts being used. I wish the Riot anti-cheat and Riot development teams good luck in this endeavor, and I sincerely hope that this video was able to bring some sort of help or light to the situation. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching through the end of this video. I know it's a long one and certainly not the most entertaining, but in my opinion has a lot of information that the League community should really know about. If you can, please share this video with your friends or other League communities that you're in order to spread awareness about these exploits, scripts, and those abusing them. With your help, we can make League a better game, not only for ourselves, but for the community as a whole. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, it would help a lot if you guys did like the video for exposure and as well as subscribe to my channel in case I do post any other videos. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.